Influence others without talking. The art of silence. Modern Stoicism. In a world where we're constantly bombarded with noise, opinions, and the pressure to speak up, the art of silent influence stands as one of the most powerful yet underrated tools for shaping the people around us. We often believe that to influence others, we must be vocal, assertive, and always expressing our thoughts. However, the true mastery of influence lies in knowing when to stay silent, when saying nothing speaks louder than any words we could choose. Silence, when practiced with intention, becomes a force that can guide, inspire, and connect us without uttering a single word. This idea isn't new. It's deeply rooted in Stoic philosophy, where power is not found in constant chatter, but in our ability to control our reactions and choose our responses wisely. In today's fast-paced, distracted world, learning the art of silence isn't just an advantage. It's a game changer. It's a skill that can help you become a more influential leader, a more present friend, and a stronger, more self-aware individual. Welcome to Stoic Secrets, where we uncover timeless Stoic wisdom and show you how to apply it in the modern world. Today, let's dive into how you can influence others without saying a word. The power of silent influence in everyday life. Number 1. Understanding the impact of silence. In a world dominated by noise, we often overlook the remarkable impact of silence. Most people believe that communication is only effective when accompanied by words, especially in situations where emotions run high or decisions need to be made quickly. Yet, silence, when used deliberately, is one of the most powerful tools for influence. It offers us the space to pause, reflect, and truly listen, not just to others, but also to ourselves. As the Stoic philosopher Epictetus wisely said, "We have 2 ears and 1 mouth, so that we can listen twice as much as we speak." In the midst of conversation, silence gives us an opportunity to observe the unfolding of events with a clear mind, without the need for constant verbal participation. For example, imagine a tense situation at work, perhaps a heated discussion or a critical decision that needs to be made. By staying silent at that moment, you are not simply withholding words, you are demonstrating control, patience, and emotional intelligence. This act of intentional silence is not passive. It speaks volumes about your ability to stay composed under pressure. The people around you will take note of this poise, which can subtly enhance your authority and influence in the room. By not reacting impulsively, you signal to others that you are in control of your emotions and, more importantly, that you are taking the time to think before speaking. Modern Stoicism teaches us that self-mastery is at the heart of true influence. In a meeting or any emotionally charged setting, silence serves as a tool to regain focus, create space for reflection, and guide the flow of conversation without dominating it. It compels others to consider their own words more carefully, fostering a deeper, more thoughtful dialogue. Through this quiet yet powerful presence, you allow the atmosphere to shift from one of tension to one of contemplation. Over time, as you learn to wield silence with intention, you will notice a subtle shift in the way people perceive and respond to you. Your calm demeanor becomes an asset, one that others are drawn to in moments of uncertainty or chaos. In professional settings, those who possess the ability to maintain their composure in the face of high pressure often find themselves in positions of influence even without uttering a single word. This skill translates into personal relationships as well, where silence can be a way of showing respect, empathy, and understanding without needing to fill every space with conversation. By embracing silence as a powerful form of communication, we cultivate a deep sense of inner strength and wisdom. As Marcus Aurelius, one of the great Stoic philosophers, once said, "Be tolerant with others and strict with yourself." This wisdom resonates in the context of silence. When we choose to remain quiet, we are exercising strict control over our impulses, while at the same time offering others the freedom to express themselves. It's not about withdrawing or avoiding interaction, but about choosing the right moments to speak and the right moments to listen. When practiced regularly, the art of silence allows us to influence without dominating, to lead without speaking over others, and to foster relationships that are grounded in understanding, not just words. The more we embrace silence, the more we learn to recognize the power it holds in shaping our world. By doing so, we align ourselves with the core principles of modern Stoicism: wisdom, courage, justice, and temperance. Silence, in its purest form, is an act of temperance, a balanced approach to communication that values reflection and mindfulness over reactive speech. In modern life, where distractions are constant and opinions often fly unchecked, silence can be a counterbalance that brings clarity and focus. Whether you're in a personal conflict, facing a challenging decision, or simply trying to guide a conversation, silence allows you to connect with your deeper sense of purpose. It's an opportunity to regain control over your reactions, to remind yourself that true influence doesn't stem from how loudly we speak, but from how thoughtfully we respond. Silence, when wielded with intention, can help you navigate the complexities of modern life with wisdom and grace. As you practice the art of silence, you'll find that your influence grows, not through the force of words, but through the power of presence, an influence that transcends the noise of the world and speaks directly to the heart of those around you. Number 2. Silence as a tool for emotional control. Silence is often underestimated, but it can be one of the most powerful tools, especially when it comes to mastering our emotions. In today's fast-paced world, where it feels like reactions are often the only way to deal with challenges, silence provides a rare and essential pause. It creates a space for us to breathe, reflect, and regain our composure before acting on impulse. Whether we're angry, frustrated, or feeling deeply sad, it's natural to want to speak or act immediately. We may feel a deep urge to do something, to express our emotions right away. But as the Stoics have taught us, we have a choice in how we respond to what life throws at us. And one of the most profound Stoic secrets is this: we can choose not to allow external events to disturb our inner peace. In moments of emotional turbulence, we have the power to pause, take a step back, and decide how we want to react. Imagine for a moment you're in a heated disagreement with a colleague at work. Your emotions are running high. Maybe you feel misunderstood or unfairly criticized. Your natural instinct may be to immediately respond, to defend yourself, or even to retaliate. But what if, instead of reacting right away, you paused? What if you took just a few seconds, those few moments of silence, to calm your mind, breathe deeply, and step outside the immediate emotional surge? In that brief moment, you have the opportunity to make a more conscious decision, to respond thoughtfully rather than impulsively. You might choose a calm, measured response that will not only de-escalate the situation, but also show the maturity and wisdom to stay composed. What happens next is that you avoid saying something in the heat of the moment that you might regret later. You maintain control over your emotions, rather than allowing them to control you. In doing so, you protect your emotional well-being as well as your relationships with others. The Stoic approach emphasizes that our power lies in how we respond, not in the events themselves. By practicing this kind of emotional regulation through silence, we not only prevent unnecessary conflict, but also strengthen our self-discipline. Over time, this self-control builds your influence. People begin to notice that you can stay calm even in stressful situations. They see you as someone who is grounded, someone who can think clearly and act with wisdom. And ultimately, this enhances your reputation and increases the respect others have for you. In a world where quick reactions and impulsivity are often celebrated, the ability to remain silent and composed becomes a rare and valuable skill. It allows you to navigate life's challenges with grace and poise. Think about a time when your emotions led you to say something you regretted or acted impulsively. How could that situation have turned out differently if you had chosen to pause and take a moment of silence? The ability to remain silent in the face of emotional intensity is one of the most powerful Stoic secrets. It's not about suppressing your emotions or pretending they don't exist. It's about choosing how to engage with them, giving yourself space to process them before responding. Mastering the art of silence helps us avoid rash decisions and allows us to align our actions with our deeper values. When we pause, we make decisions that are more thoughtful, more in line with who we truly are, and more likely to lead to long-term, positive outcomes. As the Stoics remind us, we cannot control the events that happen in our lives, but we can control how we respond to them. And silence is a tool that helps us master this control. So, the next time you find yourself in an emotionally charged situation, ask yourself, how can silence help me in this moment? How can it help me stay grounded and remain true to my values? By embracing silence as a tool for emotional control, you are uncovering one of the most valuable Stoic secrets that can bring lasting peace, clarity, and influence into your life. Number 3. Silent influence in conflict resolution. Conflict is an inevitable part of life, whether in personal relationships, at work, or within society. Yet, the way we approach conflict can dramatically affect its outcome and the relationships involved. Silent influence is a powerful tool in resolving conflicts, as it helps transform tense situations into opportunities for understanding, empathy, and mutual respect. When emotions are running high, it's easy for verbal exchanges to escalate into heated arguments that only deepen the divide between individuals. In these moments, people often say things they don't mean, driven by their emotions, which only complicates the conflict further. This is where the art of silence comes in. Rather than adding fuel to the fire, remaining silent can provide a much-needed space for reflection, not only for ourselves, but for others as well. Silence in conflict does not mean disengaging completely or withdrawing from the situation. Rather, it is an intentional choice to pause, step back, and allow emotions to settle before reacting. This brief moment of quiet enables everyone involved to reflect on their words, actions, and emotions, creating the potential for more thoughtful, reasoned responses rather than reactive ones. For example, in a personal dispute where the temptation to respond immediately is strong, taking a moment of silence can prevent impulsive, emotional reactions that may be hurtful or unproductive. Instead of immediately defending oneself or retaliating, allowing for a pause gives both parties time to process the situation and consider alternative perspectives. It also creates space for the rational mind to take over, replacing emotional impulses with clearer, more measured responses. Silence, in this sense, is an act of control and discipline. It signals that you are not looking to escalate the conflict or prove that you're right. Rather, you are seeking understanding and resolution. This aligns with the teachings of the Stoic philosopher Marcus Aurelius, who famously said, "The best revenge is to be unlike him who performed the injury." In these moments of conflict, choosing silence can be a form of self-mastery, demonstrating wisdom, maturity, and emotional strength. By not reacting impulsively, you avoid exacerbating the situation and show a willingness to listen and understand, rather than to win the argument. Over time, consistently practicing silence in moments of tension can make you a more effective mediator. By cultivating the ability to stay calm and composed in the face of conflict, you can help diffuse tensions and guide others toward peaceful resolutions. This skill of silent influence is especially valuable in today's fast-paced, often polarized world, where communication can be instantaneous and conflicts can quickly spiral out of control. The rise of social media and digital communication has only intensified this, making it even more important to remain mindful of how we respond in moments of conflict. In a world filled with noise, where everyone is eager to voice their opinions and assert their positions, silence can be a powerful tool for restoring balance and fostering understanding. Modern Stoicism teaches us to embrace silence not as a form of weakness or avoidance, but as a powerful means of maintaining composure and focusing on what truly matters. In our daily lives, whether in personal relationships or professional settings, we often find ourselves in situations where a quick response is expected or where tensions are running high. However, taking a moment to pause, reflect, and choose our words carefully can lead to more effective resolutions and stronger relationships. Silence allows us to maintain control over our emotions and avoid being swept away by the turbulence of the moment. It also teaches us that sometimes the best way to resolve a conflict is not to engage in it at all, but to allow space for reflection and understanding. By incorporating the art of silence into our lives, we not only become better at resolving conflicts, but we also cultivate a sense of inner peace. We begin to master the ability to remain calm amidst chaos, to understand others rather than simply argue with them, and to guide ourselves and those around us toward more harmonious outcomes. This practice aligns with the core principles of modern Stoicism, where self-control, wisdom, and emotional resilience are key to navigating life's challenges. Embracing silence as a tool for conflict resolution is not about avoiding confrontation, but about fostering a deeper sense of understanding, maturity, and peace in the face of inevitable challenges. Through the power of silent influence, we can navigate conflict with greater ease, build stronger connections, and lead a more peaceful, intentional life. If you've reached this point, you're tapping into the profound wisdom of silence. Reflect on how this powerful practice can reshape the way you handle conflicts and enhance your relationships. Now, we'd love to hear from you. Drop a comment below with the slogan, "Silence speaks, wisdom listens." This simple phrase embodies the essence of using silence to guide our actions and resolve tension. Show your commitment to embracing reflection and purposeful action. The journey of transformation has only just begun. And don't forget to like, share, and subscribe to Stoic Secrets, turning on notifications so you never miss our next video. Stay tuned for more Stoic wisdom to help you live with greater intention and peace. Number 4. Silence as a reflection of wisdom. Silence, when used effectively, is a powerful tool of influence, often more impactful than words or actions. In a world saturated with noise, opinions, judgments, unsolicited advice, choosing silence can demonstrate immense strength. Wise individuals understand that not every situation demands a response or requires an opinion to be voiced. They realize that silence can carry more weight than speech, and in many cases promotes deeper understanding. The Stoics, who emphasized discipline and virtue in modern Stoicism, saw silence as a form of self-control, a conscious choice to resist reacting impulsively to external events. They recognized that silence creates space for reflection, allowing thoughts to align with purpose rather than emotion. This concept of silent wisdom is especially relevant in daily life. For instance, when someone vents about personal struggles, the instinct may be to jump in with advice or solutions. However, Stoic teaching suggests that silence in such moments is far more valuable. By remaining silent, you convey respect for the other person's experience, allowing them space to process their emotions and thoughts. Epictetus wisely noted, "We have 2 ears and 1 mouth, so that we can listen twice as much as we speak." Silence here is active. It's about listening with empathy and understanding, without the need to fill the space with our own words. By embracing silence, you also practice self-discipline. Stoicism teaches the importance of mastering oneself before attempting to influence the world around us. Silence demonstrates an inner strength, as it reflects control over external triggers and the pressure to conform to societal expectations. People often don't need advice, they need to be heard. Your silence in these moments fosters trust and creates a deeper connection. As Seneca said, "Silence is a lesson learned from the many sufferings of the tongue." In today's fast-paced world, silence acts as an anchor, providing clarity amid the chaos. It offers a chance to step back from the noise of opinions and judgments, allowing us to act more thoughtfully and in alignment with our values. This aligns with modern Stoicism, which encourages measured responses rather than rash reactions. While it's tempting to constantly speak to assert oneself, true influence is often found in how well we listen and control our own impulses. Whether in a boardroom or a family gathering, silence can help navigate challenging situations. In the workplace, a well-timed pause can often hold more power than any business jargon. In personal relationships, choosing not to offer unsolicited advice creates space for greater harmony. Marcus Aurelius once said, "The soul becomes dyed with the color of its thoughts." By choosing silence, we reflect and cultivate inner peace, allowing our actions to speak louder than words. Influencing others through silence is about leading by example. It shows that strength is not in dominating conversations, but in creating space for others to be heard. Silence reflects both self-mastery and empathy. It is not about withholding knowledge, but about thoughtfully engaging with the complexity of human emotions and the power of presence. By practicing silence, we become better listeners, wiser individuals, and more effective leaders. Quiet moments often shape our relationships and our impact on the world around us, and by embracing them, we can find true influence. Number 5. Silence in leadership. In today's world, leadership is often associated with being vocal, commanding attention with words, and inspiring action through powerful speeches. We tend to think of great leaders as those who can speak with conviction and charm, capturing the hearts and minds of their audiences. But what if true leadership isn't just about speaking, but about knowing when to stay silent? What if the real influence a leader wields is found in their ability to remain quiet, creating space for others to speak, think, and act? In the fast-paced environments we find ourselves in, it's easy to mistake constant talking for leadership. But there's a profound power in knowing when to remain silent. Think of a leader in a team meeting, one who doesn't rush to fill every pause with their own ideas. Instead, they hold back, allowing the conversation to unfold organically, giving others the opportunity to voice their thoughts, brainstorm, and share their perspectives. This silence isn't a sign of passivity. It's a deliberate and strategic move. It's a way of showing trust, respect, and belief in the capabilities of the team. By staying quiet, a leader is not taking a back seat. They're empowering others to step up, think for themselves, and contribute meaningfully to the discussion. This silent form of leadership is often more powerful than any words could be. When a leader uses silence effectively, they open up a space for creativity to flourish. People feel freer to express their ideas, knowing they won't be interrupted or overshadowed. They feel seen and heard in a way that encourages them to take ownership of their thoughts and contributions. As a result, they become more engaged, more creative, and more motivated to take initiative. This approach fosters a culture of collaboration and inclusivity where everyone feels like they're a part of something bigger than themselves. Contrast this with a meeting where one person dominates the conversation, constantly talking over others or forcing their ideas onto the group. This kind of leadership doesn't encourage innovation or creativity, it stifles it. People may become passive, waiting for instructions instead of contributing their own thoughts. In contrast, a leader who allows silence to guide the conversation creates an environment where all voices are valued. Everyone has the opportunity to speak, think, and be heard, and as a result, the group functions as a more cohesive unit. This approach to leadership is deeply rooted in Stoic philosophy. The Stoics taught that true power doesn't lie in forceful words or actions, but in the ability to exercise restraint and wisdom. The Stoic secrets of leadership tell us that knowing when to speak and when to stay silent is a key to influence. Sometimes the most powerful thing you can do is nothing at all. In a world where everyone feels the need to be heard, the ability to listen and give others the space to speak is a rare and valuable skill. Reflect on your own experiences. How often do you find yourself speaking just for the sake of being heard? How often do you feel compelled to jump in and share your thoughts, even when others might have something important to say? What might happen if, instead, you chose to remain silent, giving others the room to express their ideas? Could this approach shift the dynamics of your conversations, meetings, or even your relationships? Silence, when wielded with intention, can transform the outcome of any interaction. It encourages others to step forward, think more critically, and take responsibility for the direction of the conversation. And it's a lesson we can all learn from the Stoics. True leadership is not about being the loudest voice in the room. Sometimes, the most powerful action is to listen, trust, and allow silence to speak volumes. In the end, the ability to remain silent when needed is not a weakness. It's a sign of strength, confidence, and wisdom, qualities that every great leader, Stoic or otherwise, understands. Number 6. Silence and building respect. In both personal and professional relationships, respect serves as the foundation upon which trust is built and mutual understanding is nurtured. One of the most profound yet often overlooked ways to earn and sustain respect is through the deliberate use of silence. In a world where words are abundant, silence can serve as a powerful tool to demonstrate self-restraint, patience, and emotional maturity. When we choose silence instead of filling the air with unnecessary words, we communicate volumes about our character and intentions. For example, consider a situation where a colleague is speaking during a meeting. Instead of interrupting or offering unsolicited advice, choosing to listen attentively and without distraction signals a deep respect for their perspective. In such moments, silence is not a sign of weakness or disinterest. Rather, it is an acknowledgement of the other person's viewpoint, validating their thoughts and contributions. By embracing this type of silence, we are demonstrating that we value the other person's ideas, which in turn helps to foster a deeper sense of mutual respect. Over time, people begin to associate silence with wisdom and authority. This type of silent strength has the ability to command influence without the need for forceful arguments or confrontations. As the Stoic philosopher Epictetus wisely observed, we have 2 ears and 1 mouth so that we can listen twice as much as we speak. In a society that often emphasizes the importance of being heard, those who can remain quiet and listen are perceived as more thoughtful and measured. By allowing others the space to express their thoughts, we gain a more comprehensive understanding of the situation at hand. This not only enriches the dialogue, but also demonstrates maturity and a level of emotional intelligence that fosters trust and rapport. Silence, then, is not merely an absence of sound, but a conscious choice to be present and engaged in a way that transcends words. Additionally, silence can serve as a shield against unnecessary defenses. In many instances, our knee-jerk reactions or need to explain ourselves can create friction where none existed. By remaining silent in the face of provocation or criticism, we allow our actions and presence to speak for themselves, often conveying more than words ever could. This is especially important in moments of conflict or tension, where responding impulsively may escalate the situation. By holding our tongue, we maintain control over our emotions and avoid saying things we may later regret. Our actions, rooted in consistency, integrity, and wisdom, become the true reflection of our character, not the defensive words we might use to justify ourselves. Silence, therefore, becomes an embodiment of confidence. It signals to others that we are secure in our beliefs and actions, and that we do not need to constantly assert ourselves to prove our worth. In the context of modern Stoicism, this ability to remain composed and steady in the face of external pressures or provocations marks true strength. It reflects a deep inner peace and a commitment to maintaining a clear, focused mind, regardless of the external noise. In a world where everyone seems eager to make their voice heard, those who can remain silent when needed stand out as pillars of wisdom and reliability. They are not defined by their need for attention or validation, but by the quiet power they exude through their presence and actions. Incorporating silence into our daily interactions not only enhances our influence, but also deepens the connections we share with others. It allows for more meaningful conversations and strengthens the bonds of trust and respect. The key to mastering silence is not about shutting others out or retreating into isolation, but rather about creating space for others to express themselves fully, while showing that we value their perspectives. By doing so, we pave the way for stronger relationships, both personally and professionally, and cultivate an environment where our actions and presence are the true measures of our value. Silence is a tool that can be used to navigate the complexities of life with wisdom and grace. It is a cornerstone of modern Stoicism, a philosophy that encourages individuals to act with integrity, to remain calm in the face of adversity, and to focus on what is within their control. In the end, it is not our words that define us, but our actions and our ability to listen, reflect, and act with quiet confidence. To engage with our community, we'd love to hear your thoughts. Drop a comment below saying, "I embrace the power of silence," if you believe in the strength of listening and showing respect through silence. Your participation helps us build a supportive and respectful space where everyone can grow together. How has silence helped you build respect in your relationships? Share your experiences and let's inspire one another to foster deeper connections through the art of listening. Benefits and application of silent influence in life. Number 1. Enhancing focus and clarity. In today's world, where distractions constantly pull our attention in various directions, the ability to remain silent is an invaluable tool for enhancing focus and clarity. From work demands to family obligations and social media, the noise can easily overwhelm us. Silence, however, offers a necessary break from this chaos, providing mental space for reflection and thoughtful decision-making. As the Stoic philosopher Seneca wisely noted, We suffer more often in imagination than in reality. Silence gives us the opportunity to quiet the noise and confront our thoughts, allowing us to approach life's challenges with greater clarity and purpose. By creating moments of stillness, we give ourselves the chance to pause, think, and recalibrate before making decisions. In this fast-paced world, taking time for silence helps to manage emotional overwhelm and restores our focus. Whether in a challenging conversation, preparing for a presentation, or making a life-changing decision, silence helps clear our minds and center our emotions, leading to more thoughtful and intentional actions. In the framework of modern Stoicism, silence becomes an essential practice for mastering oneself. The Stoics understood the importance of focus and the need to control one's reactions, especially in emotionally charged situations. Choosing silence allows us to pause and create space for reflection, helping us maintain composure and clear-headedness. Before a stressful event, like a critical meeting or difficult conversation, a few minutes of silence can calm anxiety and sharpen our focus. It is not about retreating or avoiding the moment, but about regaining control of our thoughts and emotions. By embracing silence, we allow ourselves to clear our minds, calm our spirits, and sharpen our mental faculties. This mental clarity enables us to approach challenges with a balanced, rational mindset, making decisions that reflect our true values rather than being swayed by external pressures or emotions. Silence is also a powerful tool for managing stress. In a world overwhelmed by constant information and demands, our minds often become scattered, making it difficult to focus on what truly matters. Silence provides a way to slow down, reconnect with ourselves, and regain our sense of purpose. This is particularly valuable in high-pressure moments, such as preparing for a major presentation or navigating a difficult personal situation. The pressure to perform can lead to anxiety or uncertainty, but by taking a moment to sit in silence before responding, we give ourselves the space to regain control of our thoughts and emotions. This practice not only calms the mind, but also sharpens our ability to engage with the situation from a place of wisdom and composure. By pausing, we increase our mental clarity, leading to more effective decisions and stronger emotional resilience. Modern Stoicism teaches that emotional resilience and clarity come not from reacting impulsively to the noise of the world, but from exercising patience and self-control. Silence plays a pivotal role in this process. By intentionally choosing silence, we step away from the external distractions and create space for deliberate thought and careful consideration. This allows us to move beyond instinctual responses and approach situations with a more disciplined and purposeful mindset. Over time, the practice of silence helps us develop the ability to make decisions based on clear thought rather than emotional reaction. It enables us to focus on what truly matters, cutting through the clutter and distractions that often cloud our judgment. By harnessing the power of silence, we become more effective and intentional in our actions, guided by reason rather than impulse. As we continue to practice silence, we begin to notice its transformative effects. Whether navigating a personal crisis, making career decisions, or simply seeking more peace of mind, silence can bring clarity and direction. By creating space for quiet moments in our lives, we empower ourselves to think more clearly, evaluate our options, and engage with challenges from a place of purpose. The more we embrace silence, the more we realize that true influence and focus come not from speaking endlessly, but from taking the time to reflect and act thoughtfully. Through silence, we cultivate the ability to center ourselves, make decisions with precision, and live with greater intention and wisdom, core tenets of modern Stoicism. This practice leads to a more peaceful, purposeful, and intentional life, where our actions are aligned with our deepest values. Number 2, building stronger relationships. Building stronger relationships is something we all strive for, and surprisingly, silence can be one of the most effective tools for achieving that. In a world where everyone is often eager to speak, sometimes saying nothing speaks the loudest. Imagine you're having a conversation with a friend who's going through a tough time. They're sharing their struggles, and you're tempted to offer advice or tell them that you understand. But instead of jumping in with your words, you simply remain silent, listening carefully and giving them your full attention. In that moment, by offering your presence rather than your voice, you show them that their feelings matter to you, that you care about what they're going through. This silent act of empathy creates a space where your friend feels truly heard and valued. It builds a deeper connection between the two of you, one that words alone might not achieve. And this is one of the Stoic secrets, the ability to use silence not as a withdrawal, but as a form of deep engagement. When you stay silent and let others express themselves freely, it demonstrates that you are prioritizing the relationship itself, not your need to be heard. You allow the other person the freedom to share without interruption, and that act alone can create a bond that goes beyond the surface level. But silence isn't just useful in moments of support. It's also a tool during moments of conflict. When a disagreement arises, our natural impulse is often to respond quickly, to defend our point of view, or to try to win the conversation. But think about a time when you've paused during an argument. What happens when you choose silence in those heated moments? In that space, there's room for understanding, there's room for reflection. Instead of escalating the situation with more words, you give the other person the opportunity to explain themselves, and you give yourself time to process your own emotions before reacting. This is where silence can be a powerful tool for creating empathy and resolving conflicts peacefully. It's not about avoiding the conversation or shutting down. It's about allowing the space for mutual respect and understanding to flourish. Let's think about a modern example. Picture yourself at work, in a tense meeting where opinions are clashing. Everyone is speaking over each other, trying to make their point heard. The air is thick with frustration, and it feels like no one is really listening. Now, imagine if, instead of jumping in to add to the noise, you chose to remain silent. In that moment, by pausing, you're not only showing composure and self-discipline, but you're also encouraging a culture of active listening and understanding. Your silence creates an opportunity for others to pause and reflect too. You set an example of how conversations can be more meaningful when we take the time to truly understand each other before responding. The result? Not only are you fostering a calmer, more respectful environment, but you're also silently demonstrating leadership, one that prioritizes connection over confrontation. Over time, this practice of using silence to build relationships will help you cultivate stronger, more meaningful bonds. Whether in personal or professional settings, silence becomes a sign of respect and emotional intelligence. It teaches others that you are someone who values connection, who listens deeply, and who responds thoughtfully. And this is one of the profound Stoic secrets that can transform your relationships, the quiet strength of being present with others. Think about your own relationships. How many times have you found that simply listening without speaking brought you closer to someone? How many conflicts could have been avoided or resolved if you had taken a moment of silence to reflect before responding? By learning the art of silent influence, you not only improve your relationships, but also build a foundation of trust and mutual respect that lasts. So, the next time you find yourself in a conversation or conflict, ask yourself, how can silence help me build a deeper connection? How can it help me respond with more empathy and understanding? Embrace the power of silence as a tool for building relationships. and you'll uncover one of the Stoic secrets to fostering meaningful connections with the people around you. Number 3. Enhancing personal growth through silence. Silence offers a unique opportunity for personal growth, acting as a catalyst for a deeper understanding of oneself. In a world filled with constant noise and distractions, the power of silence allows us to step back and reflect on our lives, thoughts, and emotions. It creates a space for self-awareness, where we can become more attuned to our inner selves and the subtle patterns of our behavior. One of the most significant benefits of silence is its ability to promote mindfulness and presence. In a quiet environment, you can fully engage with the present moment without the interference of external distractions. This heightened sense of awareness allows you to make conscious choices, act with intention, and live more mindfully. By embracing silence, you can develop the ability to focus on what truly matters, helping you align your actions with your core values. Moreover, silence has a profound impact on emotional regulation. In the stillness, you can pause and assess your emotions before reacting. This allows for a greater sense of control over how you express yourself, reducing impulsive reactions and promoting thoughtful responses. By understanding and managing your emotions through silence, you can prevent emotional overwhelm and make more rational decisions. Another key aspect of personal growth through silence is the opportunity it provides for introspection and deep reflection. Without the noise of the outside world, you have the space to examine your thoughts, beliefs, and habits. This self-reflection enables you to recognize areas for improvement and identify patterns that may be hindering your progress. In silence, you can begin to question long-held assumptions and open yourself to new perspectives, fostering personal development. Furthermore, silence fosters creativity and problem-solving. When your mind is quiet, it is more open to new ideas and innovative solutions. The absence of constant external input allows your thoughts to flow freely, leading to insights that might otherwise remain hidden in the chaos of daily life. This creative process is essential for personal growth, as it encourages you to think outside the box and find unique solutions to challenges. Silence cultivates patience, a vital trait for personal growth. In a world that often values speed and instant gratification, silence teaches us to slow down and take the time to reflect, wait, and listen. This patience enables us to approach situations with a calm demeanor, giving us the space to respond thoughtfully rather than react impulsively. Over time, this practice of patience enhances our ability to navigate life's challenges with grace and resilience. In essence, silence is a powerful tool for personal growth, providing the space needed for self-awareness, emotional control, creativity, and patience. By embracing silence, we can better understand ourselves, make more mindful decisions, and ultimately lead a more fulfilling and purposeful life. You've made a powerful move toward personal growth by embracing the silence that fosters self-awareness, emotional control, and creativity. Now, we'd love to hear how this practice is affecting you. Leave a comment with a short slogan like "Reflect, Respond, Evolve" to share how you're applying these principles to your life. Let us know how silence is helping you navigate challenges and make more mindful decisions. Keep going. Your transformation is unfolding. Number 4. Developing self-awareness. Silence is more than just the absence of sound. It's a powerful tool for developing self-awareness. In the noise-filled world around us, filled with constant demands, opinions, and distractions, silence gives us a rare opportunity to pause and look inward. This introspection is essential for personal growth, as it allows us to reflect on our thoughts, emotions, and actions. The Stoics, known for their discipline, understood that wisdom begins with understanding oneself. Marcus Aurelius, in his Meditations, wisely said, "The greatest wealth is to live content with little." By silencing external distractions, we can hear our inner voice guiding us toward improvement and self-realization. In our fast-paced lives, we often overlook the need for self-reflection, assuming that we're on the right path without ever stopping to assess our behavior. By deliberately carving out moments of silence, we create space to review our actions and decisions. This quiet reflection helps us uncover patterns, both positive and negative, that influence our choices. Whether we recognize unhealthy reactions to stress or discover strengths we hadn't noticed, silence gives us the clarity to understand the forces that shape our decisions. As Epictetus put it, "No man is free who is not master of himself." By practicing silence, we gain control over our responses and actions, becoming the masters of our own minds. This self-awareness is crucial for personal development. Once we understand the reasons behind our choices, we can make more intentional decisions. Instead of reacting to external pressures, we can align our actions with our values and long-term goals. Silence acts as a mirror, reflecting not only who we are in the moment, but who we aspire to be. Through this practice, we develop emotional intelligence, which allows us to understand and manage our emotions in healthier ways. Silence helps us process our feelings without judgment, offering the clarity needed to respond thoughtfully, not react impulsively. The philosophy of modern Stoicism teaches us that true control comes from mastering our internal world, and silence is key to that mastery. As we practice silence, we begin to notice the positive changes in how we handle life's challenges. We become less reactive and more deliberate in our responses. This calm, thoughtful approach can inspire others, whether in personal relationships or professional settings. By taking a moment of silence before reacting, we make better decisions, respond with empathy, and handle conflict with clarity. These quiet moments cultivate a deeper understanding of ourselves, our motivations, and how we wish to engage with the world. Consistently practicing silence strengthens our emotional resilience, helping us realize that we don't need to react to every trigger. Instead, we learn to respond thoughtfully, fostering more meaningful and effective interactions. The practice of silence not only enhances our personal lives, but also improves our ability to lead and influence others. Modern Stoicism encourages us to set an example by remaining calm and composed, particularly in times of adversity. When we pause to reflect before acting, we show wisdom that others look to for guidance. Silence gives us the space to refine our actions, ensuring they align with our core values rather than reacting impulsively to external expectations. As we grow in self-awareness, we gain a deeper understanding of how our actions ripple out into the world, impacting those around us. In today's world, where distractions and noise are constant, silence is a rare and valuable commodity. It's in these quiet moments that we truly come to understand who we are and how we want to engage with the world. Regularly practicing silence nurtures self-awareness, empowering us to respond to life with maturity, emotional intelligence, and resilience. The journey of modern Stoicism teaches us that strength often lies not in speaking, but in those quiet moments of reflection that allow us to align our actions with our highest values. Through silence, we cultivate the self-awareness needed to live more consciously, make wiser decisions, and ultimately become the best version of ourselves. Number 5. Silent influence in parenting. Parenting is one of life's most rewarding and complex journeys. It's filled with moments of joy, frustration, and everything in between. As parents, we often look for the right words to say to guide and shape our children, but sometimes the most powerful influence we can have isn't in what we say, but in when we choose to remain silent. There's a quiet strength in this approach, one that can help foster reflection, emotional growth, and independence in our children. Have you ever noticed that when a child is acting out, they may respond better to silence than to being scolded or reprimanded? Sometimes, the most effective way to guide them is not to react with immediate words, but to simply give them space. Imagine a child who is upset, perhaps over a disagreement with a sibling. Instead of jumping in with advice or discipline, you choose to sit quietly beside them. You don't interrupt their thoughts or try to immediately fix the situation. By doing so, you allow them the time to process their emotions on their own, giving them the opportunity to come to their own conclusions about what they've done and how they can correct it. This doesn't mean ignoring them or being cold. It means providing a safe space for them to reflect and find clarity. This practice of silent influence can teach children invaluable life skills. By experiencing the power of reflection in moments of discomfort, they learn to regulate their own emotions rather than relying on others to guide them. Over time, this silent approach helps cultivate emotional intelligence, allowing children to better understand their feelings and develop healthier responses in future situations. It's an approach that empowers children to take ownership of their actions and become more self-aware as they grow older. Let's look at a modern example. Imagine a parent who is sitting at the dinner table with their teenage child who is clearly upset about something that happened at school. The parent, instead of immediately probing for details or offering advice, remains silent and gives their child the room to speak when they are ready. The child, feeling safe in their parents' quiet presence, begins to open up about their feelings. In this moment, the child learns the value of taking time to process their emotions before seeking advice or venting frustrations. This act of silence allows the child to self-reflect, build their problem-solving skills, and ultimately become more resilient when faced with future challenges. So, how can this approach impact you as a parent? Have you ever found yourself jumping to correct your child, only to realize that they may have needed space to come to their own understanding? Reflect on how silence could be a tool in your own parenting toolkit. What would happen if you chose to step back during moments of frustration or conflict, offering your child the space to think through their own actions? This approach doesn't mean you're not involved. It means you're allowing them to grow emotionally and mentally, giving them the tools they need to navigate the world with confidence. The Stoic secrets are rich with lessons about the power of silence and self-control. Stoicism teaches us that we do not always need to act or speak immediately, especially when emotions are high. The ability to remain silent in moments of tension is a sign of strength and wisdom. In parenting, as in leadership, silence is not a passive response. It's an active choice. It's a choice that fosters growth, reflection, and emotional resilience in both the parent and the child. Think about how silence can shape your relationships, not just with your children, but with others around you. When we choose silence over words, we create space for deeper understanding, empathy, and reflection. So, the next time you face a challenging moment with your child or a loved one, remember that silence can be the most powerful tool in your parenting or in any relationship. The Stoics knew this well. They understood that silence wasn't weakness, but a strength that allowed for greater emotional clarity and a deeper connection to those around us. It's a lesson worth carrying with us as we navigate the complexities of life, parenthood, and human connection. By embracing silence as a tool for influence, you empower both yourself and those you care for to grow in ways that words alone cannot achieve. Number 6. Silent influence in social settings. In today's world, where conversations often become overwhelming with noise and distractions, the quiet power of silence in social settings stands out as a profoundly effective form of influence. People typically feel the pressure to speak in order to gain attention or influence others, yet those who know when to embrace silence, by choosing to listen rather than speak, gain a different kind of respect. This silent influence is subtle but incredibly impactful, showing that you are not retreating but observing, understanding, and respecting the dynamics of the situation. As the Stoic philosopher Marcus Aurelius wisely said, "The art of living is more like wrestling than dancing," meaning that life requires strength, strategy, and careful timing, especially in knowing when to speak and when to remain silent. Silence in social settings often speaks louder than words, leaving an impression of wisdom, confidence, and thoughtfulness. The influence of silence is particularly powerful in social situations because it shifts the usual dynamic. Rather than trying to assert dominance or impress others with clever remarks, a person who listens attentively without interrupting or offering unsolicited advice offers the gift of feeling heard. In a world where people rush to voice their opinions, the individual who listens quietly sets themselves apart. By stepping back and allowing others the space to express themselves, you foster an environment of mutual respect and trust. People naturally gravitate toward those who listen well, as it shows genuine interest in their perspectives. This type of silent influence, grounded in humility and attentiveness, is often far more powerful than speaking just to be heard. Through the act of listening, you convey a sense of self-assuredness and a quiet confidence that naturally earns admiration and trust. In practical terms, this might look like a social gathering where instead of dominating the conversation, you choose to observe and listen. By doing so, you allow others to share freely, and they are likely to view you as a person of substance, one who remains calm and composed in the midst of chatter. Many influential figures in society, whether in the workplace, politics, or social circles, have mastered the art of silent influence. They understand that by listening attentively and withholding judgment, they not only gain a deeper understanding of others, but also project an air of wisdom and confidence. This quiet strength, though not always immediately visible, helps build meaningful connections beyond surface-level interactions. Influence, in this case, is built on presence and attention, rather than on words or self-promotion. In the context of modern Stoicism, this type of silence aligns with the Stoic principle of self-control. The Stoics believed that we should not be governed by our emotions, impulses, or the noise of the world around us. Instead, they advocated for cultivating inner peace and mastering our responses. In social situations, this means resisting the urge to speak out of turn, compete for attention, or assert ourselves unnecessarily. By practicing silence, we strengthen our inner resolve, becoming more composed and centered regardless of external pressures. Silence, in this context, is not a retreat, but a deliberate choice, a powerful form of influence that is subtle, yet profoundly impactful. When you practice silence, you demonstrate emotional maturity and self-confidence. You show that your worth is not tied to constantly asserting your opinions or seeking validation from others. This approach helps foster genuine connections because people feel their ideas are respected. Over time, this quiet presence builds influence that is far more enduring than that gained through constant verbal persuasion. Relationships deepen, trust grows, and your influence expands naturally as you demonstrate thoughtfulness, integrity, and humility. In both personal and professional environments, the real power of silence lies in its ability to build stronger, more meaningful connections. Instead of feeling the need to speak in order to make an impact, You can use silence as a tool to listen deeply, gain understanding, and create authentic influence. By embracing silence, you embody the principles of modern Stoicism: self-control, inner peace, and thoughtful reflection. Through this practice, you open the door to richer, more rewarding relationships, and ultimately, a more influential presence in the world around you. To wrap up, silent influence is a powerful tool that can transform the way we navigate life's challenges and interact with those around us. Whether you're resolving conflicts, leading others, or focusing on personal growth, the art of silence can lead to profound changes in how you communicate and connect. By practicing silence, we become more self-aware, emotionally controlled, and focused, qualities that deepen our relationships and create lasting impact. As Stoic philosophy teaches us, you don't always need to speak to influence others. Sometimes your quiet presence can speak louder than words ever could,